Hello, and welcome to Code Your English channel, the channel where we help you learn English in a simple, useful, and real way. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. If you're someone who wants to improve your English speaking and listening skills, then you're in the right place. Today's episode is called Stop Studying, Start Speaking. This is a very important topic for many English learners, especially for people who are stuck at the intermediate level, the B1 level. Maybe you can understand English, maybe you read English books, maybe you watch English videos, but when it's time to speak, you feel nervous, confused, or even silent. Does that sound like you? If yes, don't worry, you're not alone. Many students around the world feel the same. They study grammar, vocabulary, and exercises, but they don't feel confident when speaking. And the reason is simple. They are studying too much and speaking too little. This episode is made for B1 level English learners who want to stop only studying and start actually using English in real life. Speaking is not just something we do after we study. It is how we learn. In this episode, I will talk about why traditional studying is not enough, why speaking is the real key to fluency, how you can start speaking today, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, and simple tips you can use every day to practice your speaking. This episode will be easy to understand and full of ideas you can use right now. So, sit back, relax, and listen carefully. You can also repeat some sentences after me if you want to practice speaking too. Let's begin this journey together. It's time to stop studying and start speaking. The problem with traditional studying. Now let's talk about something very important. How most people learn English and why it doesn't always work. When people start learning English, they usually follow a traditional way of studying. Maybe you've done this too. You buy a grammar book. You start learning tenses like present simple, past perfect, future continuous. You try to remember all the grammar rules and use them correctly. Then, you start making long vocabulary lists. You write down 20 or 30 new words every day. Maybe you also read English books, watch movies with subtitles, or listen to English songs. All of these things are good, but there's a problem. Most students spend all their time studying English, but they don't use English. They don't speak. They don't try to have conversations. They wait until they feel ready. But guess what? That feeling of I am ready may never come. You may ask, but I study so much. I know many words. Why can't I speak? This is a very common problem. Many learners say the same thing. I understand English, but I can't speak. And it's true. Maybe you understand movies. Maybe you understand your English teacher. Maybe you read English articles. But when you need to say something, your mind goes blank. You forget words. You feel shy. You are afraid of making mistakes. You don't know how to say what you want. This is not your fault. This happens because traditional studying is only half the journey. Let me explain it this way. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You watch videos about swimming. You read books about how to move your arms and legs. You even learn the names of all the swimming styles: freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. But you never get into water. Do you think you will become a good swimmer? No, right? The same thing happens with English. You can study grammar rules. You can learn vocabulary. But if you never use the language, you won't become a confident speaker. English is not just something you study like math or history. English is a living language. It is something you use to connect with people, to express yourself, to share your ideas and feelings. And the best way to learn a language is by using it, especially by speaking it. Many students believe they need to be perfect before they speak. They think, first, I need to study more. I need to know all the tenses. I need to learn 1,000 more words. Then I will start speaking. But this idea is not helpful. It actually stops you from growing. The truth is, you become better at speaking by speaking, not by waiting until you're perfect. Here's another example. Think about how babies learn to speak. Do they study grammar books? Do they make vocabulary lists? No. They listen, they repeat, they try to speak. They make many mistakes, but slowly they get better. And this is how our brain is designed to learn languages, by doing, not just by studying. Also, many traditional English classes focus more on writing and grammar tests. In school, you might get good grades because you can write well. But when you meet a native speaker, or when you need to speak in real life, suddenly you feel lost. This shows that knowing English and using English are two very different things. So, if you are spending all your time studying grammar and vocabulary, but still cannot speak, it's time to change your approach. It's not that you are not smart. It's not that you are not working hard. You are simply not practicing the skill you really want to improve: speaking. The main message here is this: studying is helpful, but only speaking can make you a speaker. If your goal is to speak English fluently and confidently, then you need to practice speaking every day, even for a few minutes. Don't be afraid. Don't wait. Start small. Start today. In the next part of the episode, I will tell you why speaking is the key to real learning and how it can change the way you learn English forever. Why speaking is the key. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of learning any language: speaking. Speaking is not just another skill. It is the heart of language learning. If your goal is to speak English well, then speaking must become your main activity. But why is speaking so important? Let me explain. First, we must remember something very simple. Language is for communication. The main purpose of any language, not just English, is to connect with other people. We use language to say what we think, how we feel, and what we want. We use it to ask questions, tell stories, give opinions, and understand others. And how do we do that? We do it by speaking. So, if language is for communication, then speaking is the most natural and useful way to practice. Think about how you use your own first language. Do you spend most of your time reading grammar books in your native language? No. You talk to people. You listen, you speak, you answer, and you react. That's real communication. Now think about how children learn their first language. This is a very powerful example. Children don't start by learning grammar rules or reading vocabulary lists. They listen to the people around them. They hear their parents, family members, and friends speaking every day. They hear the same words again and again. Then, they start repeating those words. At first, they speak very slowly and only use a few words. But over time, they become better and better. They don't worry about grammar. They don't care about making mistakes. They just keep speaking. And that's how they learn: by using the language, not by studying it. This is something very important for you to understand. You learn to speak by speaking, not by studying. Let me say that again. You learn to speak by speaking. Studying helps you understand the rules. Reading gives you more vocabulary. Listening helps you hear how words are used. But only speaking helps you build confidence, fluency, and the ability to respond in real time. Think about other skills in life. Imagine learning to play the guitar. Can you learn just by reading about it? No. You must pick up the guitar and practice. Or imagine trying to drive a car. You can't learn it only by watching YouTube videos. You must sit in the driver's seat, hold the wheel, and actually drive. Speaking English works the same way. The only way to get better is to practice with your mouth and your voice, not just your eyes and your brain. When you speak, your brain works in a very special way. It starts to connect words, phrases,